You're listening to the Balanced Educator Podcast, episode number 10. Welcome to the Balanced Educator. We're your hosts, Kaylee
and Josiane from EduCalm. Our intention is to equip and empower you to feel more calm, balanced, and joyful in all aspects of your life.
Hey guys! On last week's episode, we talked about how our thoughts create our emotions and how we can deliberately use our thoughts to create the emotions that we want to feel. And then this week, we're going to get into how you can share this knowledge and these practices with the kiddos in your life. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that is listening. Thank you for those that keep coming back every week. And thank you and welcome to you if you're new to the podcast. Also want to say thank you to everyone that's been leaving us reviews on iTunes. It really helps other people that are looking for podcasts like this one to find us. It makes it easier for our show to pop up at the top when they're searching for educational or mindfulness podcasts. So thank you so much. And also, if you're sharing it, telling any of your friends that might benefit from this podcast, if you've been doing that, thank you so much. This community is so much fun and we're enjoying ourselves a lot. So let's get started with the show. Josiane, do you want to kick us off and start talking about how we can share this idea of how emotions are created with kids?
Yeah, so this is one of our favorite things to teach kids because when they realize that they have this power, you can see it in their eyes. They just light up. It's fascinating for little kids because they often don't realize that they're even having thoughts. So actually, that's the first step that I would teach, is to teach kids that they have thoughts.
That sounds like a great place to start. That's exactly where we said to start for adults too. So we have an online school. It's called EduCalm Classroom, and we also have EduCalm Family for families. Now, in these subscriptions, we make it really, really easy for teachers or for parents to share what we teach here on the podcast with their kids without actually having to be an expert in it. So the idea is that you press play and you practice and you learn together. So in each one of our subscriptions, we teach mindfulness around specific themes. And in both EduCalm Classroom and in EduCalm Family, we have a whole series on emotions. So for each of the 5 days in the emotion series, we have a learning outcome for each day. So essentially that's what, by the end of the practice, we would like the child and their adult to have learned and to have understood. So just like we do in the classroom, there's always a learning outcome and a reason behind what we're teaching. So on day 1, we have the learning outcome of emotions help our body to feel what our mind is thinking.
And we have a audio guided practice for every single day for every outcome. And why don't we just share day 1s?
Perfect. So get comfortable either with your child or by yourself. This is a great practice for all ages, and enjoy. Welcome to EduCalm. Let's start our practice. First, sit in a position that feels comfortable to you today. Legs crossed or uncrossed. Hands resting on your legs or not. Sitting up straight or leaning back. There's no right way to sit. Just choose what feels best for you today. Now, choose if you want to close your eyes or keep them open. If you want to keep them open, choose to focus on the floor or on your feet. Today, we're going to practice breathing mindfully. Do what you feel comfortable trying. Take a break if you feel that you need to, and just listen to my voice. You can join back in whenever you're ready. Take a deep breath. Notice how you feel. Are there any sensations that you really notice in your body? It's okay if you do, and it's okay if you don't. Just notice what you notice. Sometimes, when we have a strong emotion, we feel that as a sensation somewhere in our body. When we feel angry, sometimes our stomach feels tight and our hands make fists. When we feel happy, sometimes our heart feels light and our face makes a smile. Emotions help our body to feel what our mind is thinking. When we feel a big emotion in our body, we can practice breathing mindfully. Today, we're going to learn the 5-finger breathing strategy. Open your eyes and hold your hand out in front of you. Use the pointer finger of your other hand to point at the place where your thumb and wrist meet. Take a deep inhale and trace your finger up your thumb like it's a mountain. Now exhale and trace down the other side, like your finger is sliding down the mountain. Inhale, trace up your first finger. Exhale, trace down. Inhale, trace up your second finger. Exhale and trace down. Inhale, trace up your third finger. Exhale, trace down. Inhale, trace up your pinky finger. Exhale, trace down. Close your eyes and let your hands rest in your lap. How does your body feel now? There's no right or wrong way for your body to feel. Just notice if it feels different now that we did the 5-finger breathing strategy. Whenever you're feeling a big emotion in your body, you can use this strategy. When we breathe mindfully, we allow the feelings to move in and out of our bodies with our breath. To end our practice, let's take a deep breath together. Inhale. Exhale. Notice how that feels. Thank you for sharing your practice and your awesomeness with us today. And remember, you have the power to use the 5-finger breathing strategy whenever you're feeling a big emotion.
How's everyone feeling? Hope you're feeling nice and relaxed.
I'm feeling calm.
We actually listened to it, just so you know. So we're very zen feeling right now.
Yeah. Feeling nice and chill.
Yes. So for anyone that, like if you weren't with your kiddos right now, if you want to use it again, you can access it on the Balanced Educator free resources. And if you aren't already enrolled in this free course, we will put a link to it in our show notes at podcast.educalme.com/TBE010. And also for our French-speaking friends out there, or teachers who teach in French or in an immersion setting, We have it in French also, and we have a nice poster to go with it that you can also access.
Yeah, it has a photo of a hand and then the arrows. So it's a really good thing to put up in your classroom as a little reminder. So students remember that when they're feeling a big emotion, they can do the 5-finger breathing strategy.
Yeah.
That's also one of the favorite strategies for kids.
And
they really love it for some reason. I think because it's so visual.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The rest of the 4 days we teach 4 different breathing strategies as well. But should we talk a little bit about how we kind of teach further in this concept?
Yeah. So one thing that I'll mention too is like why we're teaching breathing strategies. So we talked about how thoughts create an emotion. Our emotions we feel in our body, and when we're feeling an emotion, our body asks our brain for more of those thoughts. So how is breathing when we feel a big emotion doing anything? So it's kind of like a distraction technique. So if you're stuck thinking an angry thought, you're going to continue to feel angry feelings in your body. When you're focusing on your 5-finger breathing, now your brain is thinking about something else. So it's allowing those angry keys to stop being made.
To just melt away.
Exactly. So it's giving children a strategy of how to slow down the thinking that's causing a specific emotion in their body.
Okay, so now we have taught students and kids that their thoughts communicate with their bodies, and that's how emotions are created. That's how we feel emotions. So what are the next steps to teach our kiddos?
So as we go through the days of our emotions package, we go a little bit more in depth every day and slowly layer in first noticing sensations and then noticing thoughts, and then actually deliberately choosing the thoughts that we want to create. So imagining things that bring us feelings of joy. So using our imaginations.
So can you give us like a concrete example of how we can teach this to a kid?
Yeah, definitely. So my favorite one to do when we go in to do workshops in schools is to tell them a story so that their eyes are closed and they're imagining the story. And then we talk after about how they felt while they were imagining the story. So it's a really concrete way to show them that the thoughts you're having actually make you feel a certain way. So the one that I love to use is I describe a scene where you're walking down the street and all of a sudden you smell this delicious, sweet, cinnamony smell. You follow your nose down the road and you can smell it coming from behind this one door. So you look up, you see a sign that it's a bake shop. So you open the door, you walk in, and a huge wall of delicious cinnamon smell just hits you as you open the door. And then you walk up to the counter and you can see these delicious cinnamon buns fresh out of the oven sitting on the counter. You can feel your mouth watering because it smells so good.
My mouth is actually watering.
So then you buy the cinnamon bun and you sit down. You pick up the cinnamon bun in your hand and you can feel that it's warm and gooey. And then you bring it up to your nose and you take a deep whiff. Smells sweet and cinnamony. And then you take a bite. It's soft and chewy and melty in your mouth. You chew it slowly, savoring all the flavors, and then you swallow it. So then after I've walked them through this scene, they open their eyes and they go, "You made me feel hungry," or "I could actually taste the cinnamon buns," or "I could actually smell the cinnamon buns." So then we have a conversation of, well, it wasn't real. We weren't actually smelling cinnamon buns. So it really shows them the power of their mind in a concrete way. We talk about how, did your stomach feel hungry when you were thinking about that food? And how did that, what sensations was that? How did it feel in your stomach? And, did you feel impatient as you were waiting to eat that cinnamon bun? And just a really nice conversation and going into depth about this connection between what we're imagining in our mind, the thoughts we're choosing, and how it makes us feel.
So it's a way of teaching them that they can choose their thoughts to create the emotions that they want to have in their bodies. Exactly.
And you can do these imagination exercises with any emotion that you want to create, So I would definitely suggest starting this with kids, not at a time where they're having a meltdown, because this is a strategy that you teach when they're already feeling good and they're in a good space so that they learn the tools. Then if they are having a meltdown, we can go back on those tools. And then that's when we use them because we've already developed them.
And kids, if they've learned them and if they've practiced them for long enough, they will apply them.
Yeah. Like definitely will get to a point where you don't even have to prompt them. They will just go straight to their 5-finger breathing or their balloon belly breathing or their breathing with shapes or any one of the 5 strategies that we teach. And they'll choose the one that they prefer. In every classroom that we go into, they always have their favorites and that they really connect with. And then that's their tool. That's their strategy.
Just takes a little bit of time and patience.
Yeah.
That is all.
Exactly. And, making it routine, just like anything else, any habit that we want to create, anything new that we want to learn, do it, every day. And all of a sudden it's just natural for you to, when you're feeling upset, that you have a strategy to help you. Like, I don't have to stay here in this upset place. I know what I can do to feel good. I can use my thoughts to think in a way that's going to make me feel good.
I love it.
Yeah.
So if you want to teach this to your kiddos, or if you want to learn it with your kiddos, we have the Mindfulness and Emotions series in all of our subscriptions. Yeah.
So either Educalm Classroom or École Educalm if you are one of our French friends. And it's also in Educalm Family or Famille Educalm if you want to access it in French. So to find our online school and all of these courses that we've been talking about, you can go to www.educalm.com. That's EDUCALME. On the English version, when you click on Learn, that's going to take you to our online school. If you're going to our French site, you'll click on Boutique, and that's going to bring you to our online school.
Thank you so, so much for being here and for listening. And we appreciate you so, so, so much. And we look forward to chatting with you again.
Talk to you next week.